California, Mr. Bilbray.
The gentleman from California is now recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as a member of the Committee of Jurisdiction, I've been trying to work in a bipartisan effort with this bill. I wanted to support this bill, even though it has an $85.6 billion price tag. But sadly, the fact is that just trying to do some of those little things that the American people want us to move forward, common sense things, like making sure that the $85.6 billion, that no portion of that is going into financing illegal behavior such as illegal employment. Sadly, the Rules Committee has said we don't have time to bother with assuring the American people that their money is not going to be spent in the commission of the crime of illegal employment. It's bad enough, Madam Speaker, that we have a bill that does not specifically require anyone who gets federal funds or federal grant guarantees do the thing that you and I do as members of Congress, the federal government does, that every contractor does since President Obama has mandated. This bill doesn't require that the recipients of federal funds under this program have to make sure they check the employment status of somebody before they start paying them with federal funds. Common decency. But what's worse than that, Madam Speaker, is the Rules Committee has denied both sides of the aisle the ability to vote on this issue. The Rules Committee has denied us the ability, as Republicans and Democrats and independents, to go on record with the American people that, look, we want to make sure that your money is not spent for illegal activities such as illegal employment. I tried to work across the aisle on this issue. I've worked with the Chairman Gordon on this issue. All we asked was the common decency to give Democrats and Republicans the ability to go on record and do a little thing that American people have been demanding for much too long. And that is, when you spend money, even if it's more than we want, make sure that you're not financing the violation of federal law. That's all I asked. But you couldn't, the Rules Committee couldn't find the decency to allow a bipartisan vote on something that is so common sense, so common decency, as to make sure we keep our promise to the American people, that we uphold the Constitution and make sure that our federal funds are not engaged in illegal activity. And, Madam Speaker, sadly, that is where I am today. I like a lot of this bill, but if you ask me to go back to San Diego and face off my constituents, right, left, Republican, Democrat, how can I look in them with a straight face and say I've done everything I can to make sure your money is spent appropriately and legally? And sadly, this rule does not require that little bit of common decency of making sure the constituency gets legal expenditure of their $85.6 billion. That's the price tag of not being bipartisan leadership.